Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to work on my identification credentials for my Lepidopterist lady. And you will probably have seen the piece that I made for the cover, and here she is. And that's the butterfly neck, because that's what she is into. She's into butterflies and moths. So you'll see a lot of those throughout the Nature Wildlife Journal. And so we're getting back in here. We need another picture. And I believe this lady right here looks a whole lot like her and could be, her. So we're going to take that photo. I'm making sure there's no others that look like her. No, there's just two guys over there. So I've only got the three ladies left, so it's got to be that one we're going to use for her credentials. So we have that. And this is out of the Halloween 2024 sticker book. Loved it. It has the skulls in it and the witches' hats and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to go for the cover. That's why it's not put down anywhere yet. So let me do the sneaky peek real quick, and then we're going to get into what we're needing for our project today. And so this one, we're showing this pretty little bird. I don't think it had a name. It was one of those tiny pictures on the back of the calendar, so I really don't know what it was. I took some of the greenery from one of the books and put here, and this is from, the floral alphabet. That was a Stamperia pad. I don't know if it's still out anymore. It's a really older pad. And this here is Stellar Jays. And we have a blue jay, but it doesn't look anything like this bird. And they say they're loud, feisty, and completely gorgeous. And this is a western cousin of the blue jay. Okay, so yeah, our blue jays are lighter than this, and they have big black bar streaks that are on them. So yeah, that's a pretty bird. And then this one's got like a black head. So I'm not sure about him. He's probably the same kind of bird because he's, like cardinals and blue jays. They all have this little thing that goes up on their head. I think that's really cute. All right. Let me see if there's anything else here I need to show you. Well, and then a robin. We have robins all over the place here. They're very, very common. They have that big red breast on them. And this says they're called an American robin. So I believe the English version, they're a little different. It makes let's see. American robins will make a variety of calls year-round, but they sing mainly in spring. And that's one of our signals that spring is coming. When you see a yard full of robins, you know spring is just around the corner. Just around the corner. All right, so today what we're working with, I have this scrap piece of paper. That's going to be the base for our piece. It's not needing to be seen or anything. I might leave the inside open to be written on, or I might even cover it. I might have enough of this to cover it. I've got just a thin piece. I think this is that painter's paper that I showed you the roll for a while back. It's very, very thin, almost like copy paper weight. And I am going to rip a little piece off here and show you a technique at the end. Some girl that contacted me on one of my older videos where I was doing the front cover for the Craftly haul, where I crumpled it up, made it look like faux leather. She wanted to see how that was done, so I thought I'd take just a little piece of this and do it. And also, we have a a roll of the Collage paper with entomology. It has this great big butterfly with field label above him, and then a smaller butterfly. So we're going to see if we can get one or two of them to go on the outside of this piece. Now, this is going to be for the inside as well, so you're going to be able to... I have to have it's going to be like a passport, I guess, in a way. Now, I think Miss Jody sent me this, and it has a signature on it here. So I'm definitely using that. I'm not sure if there's anything else on here I might need. Maybe something that's official looking, that's, that you really don't know what it is. Maybe like that. And then I have this, which is the Specimen CMS 410. And I don't know, but I might use one of these bugs on the inside part as well. I've been using some of the larger ones. I know I've used this one somewhere in the journal. I don't know that I've used that one yet. I may have. And then there's this big locust. And then we have this, which is the Field Notes CMS 396. That's the one if you need something and you want to buy something and you want to get the most out of it. This is one of those things. I know this is probably like $29, $30, $35. I don't know what they run nowadays, but you get the most out of this one stamp kit than you get out of any of the others, I would say. Especially if you're working with things that has to do with nature and specimens and science and anything nature, well, nature related. So what we're going to do is I'm going to rip this one little piece off because that's going to be for showing how to do the faux leather. I know some of y'all already know how. So this is just going to be a little quick thing at the very end, in case you didn't want to stick around for it. So what we need here is I'm going to go ahead and kind of fold this in half, because then I'll just glue this to the inside of it. Now, I don't know what else this is going to entail. I may be drawing lines on it. Like, see, this is kind of how I want it to go, like that. So I'm going to run some glue on the inside of this and see what we got. And I'll probably use both of them. Both my stick glue, which is extra strength Elmer's Craft Bond. And I'll probably smear it with a little bit of my Fairly Arts glue. So let's go ahead and cover the whole thing. I don't know how big I wanted this to be. I really don't. So I'm just going to go and cover the whole thing. And then we can cut it down from there. So I hope everybody is doing fine and dandy today. I hope you have good health and everything's going well. You're getting ready for Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. And yeah, just having some good food and good family around you. If nothing else, that's always a good thing. All right, so let's go ahead and take this and push it in and get that down. And we're going to use this one here. I think this one will do the best. I want a flat surface. I don't need it to be bumpy or wrinkly. Now, if you want it to be wrinkly, you would scrunch it up beforehand. But I don't want to do that. I want it to just be as it is, so I can stamp on it really good. And we have his families that we're going to go to. I think my mom and sister and brother are going to celebrate Thanksgiving together next door. And I guess I'll go up to his families. I think I stayed here last year, so I didn't go up and spend Thanksgiving with them. But they've already requested what they wanted me to make. I do something called a chicken and dressing casserole, and they've already requested that I make that. I think that's what I made them last year. It's really good though. It's just I think I cook up chicken thighs usually. I don't like breast because it's so dry. So you just cook up chicken thighs, and then I think it's got some broth in it and like cream of chicken soup. And then you get like that Pepperidge Farm cornbread dressing. And that goes on top of it. Yeah, I think there's not much. Maybe some butter. I don't think there's much else besides that. Okay, so I've pulled my my guillotine cutter over here. And I'm trying to see how long this is. I think it's about 9.5. So let's go ahead and stick this in here. Cut this off. There we go. And then we're going to cut this end off, wherever it may be. I don't think it really matters. We're just going to make do with what we have, basically. So let me cut that. And then I've got this extra here that's kind of in between. And I should have cut I should have cut that off. Let me bend it first. That'll do it. Yeah. That gives me an idea where I need to cut. Whew. I had to get the big coat out, you know. It's a horrible thing when you have to admit that it's winter. I fight it. I don't know about y'all, but I fight it as long as I can. I'm forever wearing shorts. I do anyway in the house, but, you know, I don't want to admit that it's cold anymore. Taking a little bit of vintage photo ink and just putting that white out of commission. Yeah. Okay, now we're ready to roll with it. Let's see. Now I have a few pieces here. It looks like it's not quite sticking, but that's okay. I think the basis of it is sticking. So let's see. I think I'm trying to figure out what I want to use here. If I want to use, probably I'll use glue stick. When I put this type of thing down, I usually use glue stick. And this is what? It's actually 10, so this is going to be 5 inches. I'm going to go over and score it real quick right in the center. Okay, did I tell you it was 10 inches, so I scored it at 5. So it's going to come around like this. Like I said, it's not quite stuck down all the way, so we're going to have to make it work. Then we're going to train it a little bit there so we know where it needs to be. All right. So the way I want this to be, I want this to be something that's going to be able to be pulled up. So I don't know, more than likely I might use this black one here. Yeah, I might use that one. I had another one of these that Tommy had made me. I can also cut out probably my own. I'm looking at what else I got up in here. I think that might work. Because that'll go with all the stamping. Because most of the stamping will be black. And this has black in it. So that should all go together well. Alright. So we're going to pull this out like this. This part here is probably going to be glued down. I may leave something to where you could tuck something behind it. But other than that, it's going to be completely glued down. Now let's see what we have in here. Along the way, I sometimes rip things off. Ooh, there's one of the big butterflies right there. Alright, let's get that out of my way. So what would be the best way to do it? This might be it. It's even got identification going up through there, but it's not going to be all the way up. But that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this like right along here. I love this huge butterfly. I've used it on envelopes and a few other things. Now there's that bug on here that I was saying I was going to use. That's a cool piece to be able to use somewhere in the book anyway. I might leave that out and put it in the book. So, okay. Do I need... I think I'm okay with cutting the rest of that off. It may be that I can save it for something, though. There. Now let's put that back in our little goodie. I still have a good bit of it left. It goes a long way. So if you've never had this collage paper, it might be worth getting. If you're not good at the stamping, or your images don't quite come out right, or you want something to be a statement piece, it can go on paper. You know, your scrapbook paper. It can go on copy paper, whatever, it's going to be something that you can use. So it's another one of those things that I would suggest having in your stash. But we're going to go ahead and cut it to be about right there. So let's go ahead and glue this up a good bit. Now what I'm going to have is this really nice craft paper color on the background. So, whatever color you have behind it, it usually will pick up and take on. Especially if you're using a wet element like this glue stick, it's going to help it adhere and be able to be more transparent. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I'll go right up here at the top. No, I need to go to the bottom. I'm trying to figure out where I need to be. Alright, and I got this. I'm going to use this to smooth it down again. I like this because I've got a big wide area that I can hit it all at once. Especially with a glue stick. It doesn't dry that quickly, but it might, dry faster than you want it to before you get your item accomplished. Alright. Now what we're going to do is just going to go and trim this down. And take care of it. Yeah, I'm always telling people that they want to have a few things in their stash that are items that they can always use and fall back on. I mean, washi tape is a really good element to have in your stash as well. Even if it's ugly washi tape, because if you have a die cutter, that's what you're going to go to and use to put down your dies so they don't move on you. Because you can usually go to Michael's or somebody and find some clearance washi tape. It's too ugly to use. I was kind of thinking of using some myself today. Oh, I forgot to. Well, I'm going to throw me a little bit of glue just right here along the top and glue down this little edge of it on the back side here. Yeah. See if that does trick. Oh, yeah. If it's not down all the way, that's all right. And throw you some wet glue underneath of it. And there we go. Now, you can also ink this up. As you can see, it's not as transparent as I'd like it to be. So if that's the case, go in here with this. Now, you can take some alcohol markers and actually colorize this if you needed to. You can do quite a bit of things with it. Now, I'm using the Vintage Photo ink here. So we're just going to go through here and see if we can ink up the edges just a bit. I'll leave the middle a little white because you want to, it'll make it a visible element to pull your eye to. If you have white items, eye shine, like a glow off of something in your pieces, a lot of time it will be an attraction for your eye to go to. Sometimes there's so much going on that your eye needs something to rest on to relax and then come back to it. Now see how it's almost like a glow in the background because I did the whole outside there. Now we're also going to use this here, which is the scorched timber, because I want to get that nice dark outside edge look that I always like. The frame look I'm always going with. Yeah. So I thought this would be cute to be the outside of the identification piece. I thought that would work. Whoop. I think I'm going to take it apart so I don't get that on the bottom of this, on the back side. Okay. All right. I like that. Now what else have we got? Might need that again, so I'll leave it close. Alright, so you can actually take the distress crayons also to colorize these butterflies and stuff up. I'm debating whether I want to do that. I still have this to put on here, which it won't cover up that much of the butterfly. So we're okay. So we're going to go ahead and go on the inside here and see what we need to do on that section. Now this can also be written on. I'm going to put the identification part down here, but we'll have something up here that can be like somewhere to journal. That's usually how I go about it. Okay. I've got all kinds of stuff on this paper. Maybe I'll go to a new one. Okay, I pulled my lady out. We're going to put some glue on her. Just to double. I know she's a sticker, but I like to always put a little extra on there to make sure she sticks. I need to know how much room she's going to take up too. I think she could go right there. I'm going to use one of my micron 8. It's the number 8 size to make some lines on here. So we can make it look like there's an outline to it. I need to put a few other lines, like the signature line will be right underneath of her. But yeah, for now we're just going to go on the outside here and just kind of do an outside line. Just about like that. If it's not exact, that's okay. It just needs to look like it was there. Now sometimes things aren't printed that correctly, so you can have it be a little off. Doesn't have to be perfection. Okay. See, it got a little faded there. I'm going to leave it. And then we're going to have a line right here with her signature, which that was on, whoops, I can't get it to come out. This page. Oh, and it's a really deep signature too. Let me see how big I need to make it. About like that. So we're going to actually draw our lines as we go along, because I am not exactly sure what I want to have where. So we're going to go ahead and pull her signature out. I don't know if that says Juliet or what that says on there. Let me reach over here. Ooh, hope I didn't knock into you too hard. I may actually need to make my signature a little longer. I meant the signature line, not the signature itself. Okay, so let's go ahead. Use our ink. Get that on here. It's also got a date with it, so that works. It works for me. As you can see, it needs to be about right here. There. Yep. Actually, it gave me a line. I didn't realize that. Okay, good to know. All right, there's that. I'll get that back on here. What is next? I think I'm going to have one of these with maybe field label or identification check. I think that's it. I know you've probably seen these passport things done before, so I'm sorry that this isn't exactly, new. I mean, it's not a new concept. There's so many people that's done these. I've even done passports or licenses or something before. I did something along those lines. I'm over here picking around on this thing. All right, what else do I need? I like the idea of the field notes thingy here being maybe on this side. And that's going to have signatures and everything else on it. And that'll take up us having to put too many lines on here. It's also going, it's also going to be about the same size as her photo. Yeah, that works. That's got like her field label credentials kind of thing. So it looks more legitimate. Boy, I got ink all over my finger. All right, what's next? Destination, maybe? I've got specimen down here. I got shipment collect. I'm trying to see what else actually works here. There's orders attended to day and night. Let's go ahead and put that on here. Yeah, there we go. See if I can get it straight. Yep, there we go. Yep, if you're into doing these identification kind of things, I know there's a few kits out there I think people have made to be exactly for this type of a creation. But I find it's fun to just try to come up with things on your own. Okay, name of remitter. I'm going to put that right up here. I'm trying not to push too hard too. When you do stamping, now I do a little bit of rocking. I will admit that. I was telling Wayne that one day, that I usually do rock a little bit because, you know, it's... Oh, here's something with agent on it. It's not always going to sometimes get the top and the bottom edges. So I just do a little gentle rocking. And I find that that helps a whole lot. So that may be something that you might want to do. Okay, I'm going to stick that right over here. You can see I just did a little tiny rocking. And I'm not pushing down too hard, because some of these stamps have such a delicate line on them. And if you push too hard, oh, it doesn't look good. Not a good look. All right, corresponding order. That might be a good one. And then I'm going to come back in here with a couple of these other things in a different color. Now this is corresponding order. I'm not exactly sure what I would... Oh! Sorry, I had that on the small one and it slid off the top one. Okay, I'm going to put that right here underneath of this. Now see, that one smeared just a little bit. But you know what? It's okay, because things printed aren't always right on the money. All right, let me find a couple of different colors, like a blue and a red. Okay, I pulled out my Dewdrops, my Rhubarb Stalk, and Danube Blue. So we're going to take this this circular one, which I always thought it's like a received stamp, and we're going to use the red on there. And we're going to put that like right up here, right across her picture and all that. Yep, just like that. So that was received, and she is official. I've also got this big roundish stamp too that I might use, and I've got a filed. Whoa, what was that, Graylin? All right, let's see about using the filed down here. We're going to put filed right down here. It's kind of a bare spot, so I need to use it. And then we're going to use this big round one as well. You know me and my round ones. And we're going to put the blue on it, and that's going to go down here. All right. And we're going to have some numbers on there with this one. And sometimes go off of the page. See how I went off there? it looks a little more, you know, realistic. Because they're probably doing this real quick and they're stamping. And they're not going to get it all the way on there. All right. Now, I think that might be it. I might need a little bit more blue, like up here. I'm trying to balance the reds, so I might want to balance the blues. And I'm trying to see what else is on here that might go with it. I've got this little form number thingy that might fit up there really good. So let's go with that. Right here. Yep, that'll work. So let me clean up just a little bit and I'll be back. All right, we have the specimen one out here, and I'm playing with the idea of putting this big bug up in there. I don't know if I want to use all this room for a butterfly, to tell the truth. When I've got one on the outside, I really like the bug. So let's go ahead and use him. I haven't used him for anything, so let's see what we got. Okay. Ooh, that's dark. Okay. Let's put him right here. Oh, no. Guess I'll be putting him right there. Yep, his foot kind of slipped. Ooh. Even his second, third, and fourth degree stamping looks pretty good, tell you the truth. Yep, you can get a lot of usage out of these. You stamp it once, especially if you've got a nice juicy pad, and then you stamp on another piece of paper, a little lighter, or actually you could probably go across, boom, 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 and get a cool effect that way, like he's bouncing almost. Wouldn't that be something? All right, so we're going to use this word stamp that come along with this, and this has collection of specimens, so I thought that would be good. I love the font. Oh, yeah, it needs to be stamped. Sometimes you need to stamp your things to season them a little bit. So we're going to stamp that a couple of times like that. Then we're going to get back in here. Put this up near the top and try to straighten up the lines. There we go. Now we're going to ink on this thing a little bit to have it look like the front, you know. Okay, that's done. And there was a couple more things in here I wanted to use. I have a circle stamp here that I got to figure out if I'm right side up or not. I think that's right side up. Okay. And I think we'll go up here and stamp that off the side. Oop, that is upside down. I think this is right. We're going to stamp it over here next to the bug. There we go. And then we have one other in here. Oh, this one, the crazy number one. I don't think I've used it for anything yet. Yeah, I don't know if it's some kind of a formula or what it is, but we're just going to put it on here so there's something interesting like that. It's actually coming off of his leg. And I think that might be it. Yeah. If I don't see anything else that really makes me want to use it. All right. So, okay, let's get our inks on here. We have our vintage photo we need to use first. And we're just going to kind of smear it around here. And I'm probably going to wiggle, wiggle the camera quite a bit. But I really hope everybody has been doing quite well. This kind of weather comes in and especially the cold stuff, and it really starts putting people down, not only in health, but in mindset, you know. It gets kind of depressing because everybody feels like they'll be inside the rest of the winter, which my mom makes the best of it. I got her a word search the other day at the store, and so she works on that, or she works on her diamond art. And me, you know what I do. I make videos, or I craft, or I read anymore. I've been wanting to get back into my genealogy. I need to start working more on my story and that kind of thing. I mean, I got a story I've been working on with the family, like when they first came over. And I just, you know, been trying to get back into it. I mean, I pay a bunch for Ancestry.com, but anymore, me and Zach hadn't been working that much on anything. And then I have things I can look up on my own for my own family. I haven't been doing that. I think I don't know if it's I just want something easy for my mind to work with. And yeah, I don't know if that's it or not. I don't mind reading at all. That's very easy on my mind. Okay. I think this is giving this the aged appearance that I wanted it to have. And as you can see, it's kind of popping up there, but I think that's all right. Now, this in here glows, like, because we didn't put anything. So that's our lighter portion. And then we have to put this on, and then that should be the end of this until I get it into the book. And it bends in half right there, right? I think so. Do the same on this side. All right. And we'll do that right here. This is 4.5. So let's come over here, and I'll put it on right there. Oh, wouldn't you know, I'd put it right where I stamped something. Oh, you know me. I don't look at nothing ahead. As long as the specimen word's okay, I think I'm good. Oh, all right. There. So, that's right on the money. All right. Let me hold this up for you to see. And then we're going to get to working on this faux paper. It won't take very long for that. All right, so here is our outside. And as you can see, it's got field label, identification, that kind of thing. We got our pull. Now, probably when I put this in the book, like I said, I'm either going to glue this down all the way on the back side, because that's why there's nothing there, or I'm going to make it like a side tuck kind of a thing. And then, because we have this wonderful little guy right here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put an eyelet in there. I may be able to. Let's do that. Yeah, let's see if this will work. Do I have a black one? I'm not sure exactly if I have a black one. I think I've got this dark one is about it. Well, that's okay. We'll use it. All right, let's see if we can get that in there. Oh, it fits. It fits. Now we're going to take our crocodile and make sure I've got the right guy in there, and I do. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do here is I'm going to make something like a policy closure maybe, and put like a little thing down below here, and I can like hook it in or put the string around the policy closure, something along those lines. Now this I'm going to see if I can get it to flatten out a little bit more on this back side. Ooh, I mashed out a little bit. All right. Now, if you ever have where it splays out so bad and you don't want it to like snag on anything or snag a person's finger, you can put a bit of glue, your glue, like your wet glue, around it. And I find that that helps. So I'll probably do that on a little bit and let it sit off to the side to dry. But yeah, there we go. We have our front, and then you open it up and you're going to have your area you can write a little bit if you wanted to. And then you have your credentials for your person. And like I was saying, with that field notes, you saw I only used a few things on there, but it gets the idea across. You didn't need to do it for like field notes or anything, or anything to do with, you know, the type of occupation this lady has. But there's enough on there to come up with something. And I think that's really cool. All right, so there's that. I'm going to show you real quick this other little project. All right, so my first suggestion when you're doing faux leather is, if at all possible, if you can use ink instead of oxide, I suggest doing it. Once you start using water, which we're going to have to use as well, on this, it's the oxidization starts to happen and everything starts to turn kind of white and chalky. Well, if you don't want that, then I suggest trying to use some ink. Now, I'm not saying don't use oxide. You might throw some in there maybe toward the end and see how that works. But the majority, I think, would do better with ink. So all you got to do is crumple up your piece and unwind it then. If you need to crumple it again, you go right ahead. You're wanting all of these little nooks and crannies, like your English muffin, to be able to be scraped upon, scraped over. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, kind of smooth it out again, and you're going to use all your pieces. Our lightest one here is tea dye. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's even pretty dark, to tell you the truth. You want at least 2 to 3 colors. It doesn't have to be a lot. But, yeah. So you want to do like that. And then we're going to use some rusty hinge, which is going to give us some orangey effects in here. Oh, or maybe some red. Okay. And then you usually will want something a little dark. Oh, now the pumice stone, I think it comes out like an interesting color. We're going to go ahead and wet that a little bit. And then we're going to see about rubbing a little bit of this. This is walnut stain on here. Now you want to let it dry in between and then come back in and try a few more things. Now see, I've got it to the point where it's kind of flattening out now. But you see where, oh, now, yeah, that's got a nice dark tint to it. So it's going to pick up on those points of interest really well. Okay, now I'm going to stop that, and then I'm going to mist it some more so you can get your colors to mix. And as you can see, it starts to kind of blend together a little bit. But then once you dry it and let your paper dry all the way, you come back and you do another wrinkling up. And then you go back over it maybe with more of the pumice stone, because I saw that was a darker shade. Now, sometimes this first fix is it. You don't need to do any more. So that's all you need to do. Now, I don't know if you can see that very well. But yeah, that's what you're going to be working with. Now, like I said, let it dry all the way. And if you feel like you need more, you come back in with more. Then you have the problem of figuring out what is too much, like I do a lot of times. So you just have to figure out where you need to be. Now, I'll show you this little piece on the next next video. And I'll let you know if I had to go back in and add anything else. I'm kind of looking at it now and thinking that I don't need to. So I suggest you just play with it. Just get you some craft paper, like packaging paper, craft stock kind of paper, but more like on the way of paper bags. If you eat out at fast food places, keep those and use them. Now, you might have the image come out from the back side, but you can use that to practice on, just to get an idea of what you need to do. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that little project we had today in this little tiny teacher episode. So everybody take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.